俺の大切なもんを傷つけんな。
私は大切なもの全てを守りたいです。
私は実戒純血のデリエリ。ケツから言ってお前を殺す。
Hey guys, what's going on? Garanex here, bringing you another video on 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. So Netmarble just teased final boss Meliodas and Elizabeth, and also the release of Derriere as we saw in the video earlier. So we want to get prepared for it as much as possible. By preparing, I mean to prepare any materials that we might need to upgrade certain characters, but don't actually upgrade them yet. As we know, Global has always come out with different team comps from JP, so we wait for the whales to test out various teams first before you actually upgrade anyone. So on the official Netmarble forum, we have this information over here for final boss Meliodas and Elizabeth. So both are speed attributes, but attribute advantage and disadvantage are disabled, so you can use any color of characters that you want. Immune to corrosion, stun and petrify. Meliodas recovers from freeze debuffs at the beginning of the turn, so that means you can freeze him and do your damage, but he will actually remove the freeze the next turn, so you cannot control him. Meliodas is unaffected by attack disable effects when his ultimate move gauge has 4 orbs or less, so that is the same as the Blue Demon Meliodas. And they also only mentioned Meliodas, so that means Elizabeth can actually be attack disabled. So difficulties for hard, the recommended CC is 110,000, extreme is 140,000 and hell is 160,000. So on phase 1, Meliodas counters will only activate against skills with debuff effects. So that means using a normal attack skills, it will not actually trigger the counter. Elizabeth's ultimate move applies a rejuvenate buff that recovers a great amount of health. Tips: you can incapacitate Elizabeth with freeze skills. So you want to freeze and attack disable Elizabeth whenever possible, so you want to focus down on Meliodas. On phase 2, Meliodas counter will activate against all skills. Elizabeth carries a skill that can prevent all enemies from using buffs and debuffs. Elizabeth's attack skill and Meliodas' ultimate move contain the rune effect, therefore it is recommended to try to prevent your team from getting stacks of debuffs. So rune is the effect that increases damage dealt per debuff on the target and removes debuffs. So from this information, what I can summarize is that the strategy for final boss Meliodas and Elizabeth is very similar to guild boss Kelak. So you want to freeze and ult them as fast as possible. So ideally, you want to focus down on Meliodas first on both phases, because Elizabeth can be frozen and can be attack disabled. So you want to take down the damage dealer while controlling the other. Also preparing a rank 3 freeze and your DPS unit ult before going to phase 2, so that in phase 2 you can immediately take out Meliodas as well. There are also some possible team comps in the Reddit post created by Sakapoko. You can check it out as well, link will be in the description below. So some of the units that you can use for DPS are like Green Escanor, Red Escanor, Green Jericho and so Blue Jericho. For support you can use Red Gotha, Gustav, Red Merlin, Green Helbram and also Green Gil Thunder. For the sub you can use Despias, Red Jericho, Alioni. So we don't have Blue SSR Jericho in Global yet, so we can't use her. And of course, Derriere is also teased in this video, so we can possibly assume that Derriere will be released at the same time as final boss Meliodas and Elizabeth. So Derriere is another option that you can use for your DPS unit. Personally, I would try with Green Escanor, Gustav, Gotha and Alioni first. Since I don't have Red Merlin, I can only use Gustav, and I will wait a while and see if I need to summon for Derriere. So for the rewards, as always, we have the final boss costumes. So this is very waifu costumes, so you must get it, this one. Okay, so of course your priority will be getting all the costumes for Meliodas and also Elizabeth. So once you have gotten those, you can work on getting hammers and also anvils and your engraving stones. After that, you can take all of these at your own pace. Also, these are the rewards given based on the placement. So of course we want to aim for top 15% at the very least because of the 10 hammers and also 150 anvils. And by doing that, we also get everything at the bottom here. So if you are very hardcore and you are a very top tier player, you could aim for top 5% or maybe top 100. But for normal players, you should try to at least aim for top 15%. And since Derieri will be released at the same time and also a top option for this final boss, let's take a look at her as well. So the one that you want to get is Red Derieri. So her first skill inflicts damage equals to 240% of attack on one enemy on rank 1, 360% on rank 2 and 600% on rank 3. Her second skill increases basic stats by 20% for 2 turns for rank 1, and for rank 2 is 30% for 2 turns and also gain evasions for 1 turn. And on rank 3 increases basic stats by 50% for 3 turns and gains evasion for 1 turn. Her ultimate inflicts amplify damage equals to 630% of attack on one enemy, so amplify increases the damage dealt by 30% per active buff on Derieri herself. Her passive increases attack by 10% when the hero uses a skill. The buff goes away when no skills are used on the turn, limit 10 times. So you want to use a Derieri card every single turn so that you can actually stack up this attack buff here. And I believe this attack buff also stacks with this buff over here. So you can actually get additional 50%, so that means it's a 150% increase in attack. And her commandment decreases damage dealt by ranged attacks of allies and enemies in PvP by 35%. So this will not affect anything in Final Boss. So that's all the information we have on Final Boss Meliodas and Elizabeth as of now. Remember, Global always come up with different team comps from JP, so just prepare all your awakening materials and pendants, but don't use them just yet. Wait for the whales to try out the teams and confirm whichever teams are good, then you upgrade them. I hope this video gives you some insights into Final Boss Meliodas and Elizabeth as well as Derieri. If you have any more information you wish to share, please comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross videos. That's it for today, take care and have a great day ahead.